The Moses story. The story of Moses is inspired by a historical figure, though it is myth with an allegory of us. Amenhotep IV changed his name to Akhenaten when the pharaoh who he taught the Egyptians about monotheism. In the mystery schools, the members understood the myths were allegories. The public fell away from that and started taking things literally, actually worshipping external man-made gods like the Babylonians. Akhenaten saw this mental slavery needed to come to an end. He abolished the pantheon of ancient Egypt called Kemet and replaced it with a single god, which he called Aton, who had no image or form. He taught that Aton is light that permeates all existence and that existence is an extension of that light. The 42 laws of Mat, which means truth, which in Sanskrit is Dharma, is the path to reaching enlightenment. He opened the borders, allowing all foreigners to come and learn. The resentful Egyptians established seeing Aton as a threat, as a challenger who would replace the god Amun. Due to his actions, he was exiled from Egypt. He left Thebes and established a new capital at Amna in the Middle Egypt, on the east bank of the Nile, some 200 miles to north of Thebes. Horemheb took the throne and decided to fix the mess that Akhenaten created. When Akhenaten heard about his death, he left his exile in Sinai and came back to Egypt to reclaim his throne. Akhenaten challenged Paul Ramses right to the throne. The general, taken by surprise, decided to call a meeting of the wise men of Egypt to decide between them. At the gathering, Akhenaten produced his scepter of royal power, which he had taken with him to exile, and performed some secret rituals that only a king had knowledge of. Once they saw the scepter of royal authority and Akhenaten's performance of the rituals, the wise men fell down in adoration in front of him. He declared him to be the legitimate king of Egypt. And Ramses, however, who was in control of the army, refused to accept the wise men's verdict and decided to establish his rule by force. When Akhenaten realized that his life was threatened by Ramses, he escaped from Zarin with some of his followers during the night and rejoined his Sashu allies in Sinai. However, he refused to accept defeat and decided to carry on challenging Ramses' right to rule Egypt. Akhenaten gathered his Sashu allies in Sinai and decided to cross the borders of Egypt into Canaan, where he could establish his own rule and form parts of the Egyptian empire in order to prepare an army to allow him to return and challenge Ramses. When Ramses got knowledge of Akhenaten's plan, he decided to go out on the head of his army and crush the Bondung power before they crossed the borders to Canaan. Ramses, however, died at that moment and was followed by his son Seti I. Seti left the throne body of his father for the priest to mummify, and went on to chase Akhenaten and his Shashu followers in northern Sinai. Seti met Akhenaten in a face-to-face battle at the top of a mountain, and was able to damage his eye before he killed him and left his body unburied on the mountain. This confrontation, which resulted in Akhenaten's death, later became part of the new version of the Osiris-Horus myth, where a confrontation took place between Horus and Set. Although the myth says that Horus won the battle, it was Set, whose name became changed Satan in later time, who killed Horus. Akhenaten's followers in Canaan, in his allegory, changed his name to Moses and incorporated it into the myth in order to teach that in order to become free in mind, we must master our emotions. There is an Egyptian proverb that says, emotions make good servants or poor masters. The 42 laws of Mat have been compressed into the 10 commandments. The story of Moses parting the Red Sea is an allegory. The Red Sea is symbolic of our emotions that enslave us. In order to be free, we must leave our personal Egypt, and that is by parting through our emotions so that we can enter into the promised land which is enlightenment. The Ten Commandments derived from the 42 laws of Nat are also symbolized in the New Testament in the 42 generations from Jesus to Abraham. Each generation symbolizes each law, which leads to Christ consciousness. Emotions are like horses. You cannot go where you want to go on a wild horse. To become enlightened, one must part through their emotions instead of being drawn by them. Be free.